You know, we never spoke about the Ellie thing, but I was so excited when she was cast. I just thought that was such a genius, like, casting move.
That's how you get.
I can see why the games are so popular and why people feel so protective over them and coming into the series and like the fears around like, is it going to be as good as the game? Because the game is so brilliant. Like, what incredible source material.
That game was so realistic. I found myself running out of bullets at the beginning of each game, and each level, and I'm fighting with a brick in my bare hands.
Get on the ground! No!
Every day, one of your wolves comes to see the truth.
I'll go back if you want, and I'll keep going if you want. So what do you want to do?
Obviously, we start season 2 with this kind of big rift between Ellie and Joel. Was that difficult for you to play?
Yeah, it actually was. It's way more natural to be like fun and cheeky and as sort of me and Pedro were in season 1, as Ellie and Joel were in season 1. That's much more comfortable and natural for me and Pedro. So yeah, season 2 having to be like kind of cold and distant from each other, or Ellie distancing from Joel. It was kind of sad.
A colleague of mine used the word puppy dog eyes to describe Pedro in one of the scenes when you were like being mean to him.
Yeah, literally, it's quite sad. It's pretty brutal. Poor Pedro.
And obviously another element to it is that you have this 5-year time jump. How did you kind of factor that into your kind of performance or your kind of mentality, kind of trying to play those extra years that we haven't seen?
It's not something that I was really actively like conscious of. I've sort of grown up as well. I'm like 21, was playing 19, and in the first season I was like 17, playing 14. So I think I've naturally grown up, and so that was sort of a thing that just happened. And like the dialogue that Craig like wrote, I definitely felt like a bit older. The whole sort of the blueprint of the script sort of like aged Ellie up, and so I was just going off that and just trying to. I was like physically stronger, and I think that Ellie is too, and just it was sort of a good merging of me and her, and I think it worked out hopefully.
Definitely. And I mean, if the downside is that the Ellie and Joel relationship is kind of on ice, the kind of the upside maybe is that you've got some lovely scenes with Tommy and with Dena in episode 1. What was it like to kind of be bouncing off different actors?
It was interesting. It's always, when you get so comfortable with like one actor and one dynamic, like me and Pedro, it's like shakes you up, and like you definitely like are focusing on. I'm like, oh yeah, this is like a new dynamic. It definitely like switches you on more, and so it was really fun to get to do that. Gabe is so brilliant, Isabella's so brilliant, and everyone's so different, and everyone's processes are so different, and how everyone is, and how much each person like laughs and giggles and like breaks in between. Like it's so different, and so it was really cool to get to like adapt to each different like style, and yeah, it was a really, really good experience.
Nice. I think that relationship with Dena is one that fans of the game like myself have been kind of really looking forward to seeing that come to life. What was it like for you, and was it kind of important to you that kind of takes centre stage, that relationship? Yeah,
it's a really nice thread throughout the season is Ellie and Dena, and I think it's really nice to see Ellie in sort of in a different dynamic of relationship, because obviously we literally just mostly saw her Ellie and Joel season 1, and so for now Ellie to be in sort of a romantic-ish thing and have a crush on someone, and I think it's a really sort of cool thing to see, and I think makes her seem more like a well-rounded like teenager, and one that's relatable, not just like in the apocalyptic world, but in today's world. And yeah, that relationship is so special and was really fun to play.
Nice. And what was it like? How did you kind of get to meet and get to know Isabella? Were there like chemistry tests and things, or were they just like, here's your new person?
Yeah, it was like that. No chemistry test. Same as season 1. Me and Pedro were just like, here you go, spend the rest of the year together and like each other, which we did, thankfully. And same with me and Isabella. We were very much just like thrown into it, and relied on each other heavily throughout the whole thing, as you always do with someone that you're working with that closely.
Obviously, with Last of Us season 2, we have a lot of returning cast, but also a lot of new cast. What was kind of that process like of bringing new people into the fold? How did you guys feel about kind of almost kind of starting again with some new and some old kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, there were more of them than us, so it was good because it's
we enlisted some of the best young actors that are working today. Kaitlyn, young Mazino, Isabella, and all the way down the line, Danny and Ariella and Tati and Spenny and everyone. It's just it was just the infusion of excitement and enthusiasm that you would hope for, and everybody was really cool. No one was. Yeah, we were. You know, I think the culture of the set that was established by Craig and Neil kind of bled into how they worked with Mary in acquiring this new talent. So it was pretty easy, man. Really easy. This is probably my best friend that I made in this job. Yeah.
Amazing. Young, what was it like for you kind of coming into that kind of pre-established fold, trying to put your stamp on things? How did it feel? Did you feel a pressure coming in? Or?
The pressure was self-imposed, and then quickly alleviated when I got to set. You know, it's nice to have established actors that are still super kind and without ego. And I think on the first day of set, Gabriel was handing out care packages to everyone. And then on the last day, he was handing out goodbye gifts. And it's, you know, those are small things, but it encompasses the energy on set. And especially someone stepping onto a very successful season, a first season, it's, you know, there's a relief in that, knowing that we're all collectively locked in and on the same mission, essentially, trying to tell a good story.
I found this little shop. It was, what's the name of that island in Vancouver, the little island where all the shops are? Oh, shucks, I'm forgetting now. But there's
it's called Vancouver Island. I'm not
no,
able to
there's
help you
Vancouver
there.
Island, which is beautiful. I went to Tofino out there, and it's just gorgeous, like just wild, you know. But there's this other little island that's in the city that's like just this little artist community. And I found this jewelry shop that were selling polished stones that were carved into mushrooms and polished, like tiger eye and moonstone and all these different minerals. And I went and I just took a huge handful, and I remember putting all the packages together and then realizing, oh, I forgot this person, I forgot this. So I would come back and they're like, more mushrooms? I was like, yeah, man, give me all the mushrooms you got.
Have they deliberately made mushroom-themed stuff because Last of Us was coming to town, or was that like a
No,
happy coincidence?
it was just I found it and just worked out perfect. Yeah.
He always finds like these magical encounters and blips that's rare. It finds him.
Yeah, I like to go outside.
I could tell you were in the corridor just now playing guitar.
Yeah.
You will not be contained in a box. What else was in these care packages? I
My
feel like I have to
algebra
ask.
teacher used to tape my leg to my desk because I'd finish my work early and I'd get up and make excuses. I gotta sharpen my pencil. I gotta throw something away. And you know, she's one time Miss Garza was her name. She duct taped my leg to my desk one time and said, "You move around too much."
Any directors that are watching, that's the tip if you want to get.
Well, I'm shackled to this chair right now. You don't see it, but below is the ball and chain.
Amazing. And what else was in the care packages? I'm kind of hyper-fixated on this now.
It was a little notepad, mushroom themed, and some stickers, like you know, there's like kawaii, cutesy Japanese or Korean style stickers.
Yeah.
And I just told them that the mushroom will protect you from the monsters.
I guess, Gabriel, coming back to Tommy for a second season, we kind of get to pick up with him in Jackson, where he's kind of embedded now in this community. What was it like for you kind of getting to see kind of a different side of him, to kind of see where he lives, who his people are, that kind of thing?
Yeah. No, it's we see a little bit of Jackson in the first season, and we shot that in Canmore on one road, and now we're in a more complete version of the city. Very large backlot they built in Squamish, British Columbia, and then all these new members of that community, you know, all of them, Dena and Jesse and Seth and my wife Maria, and we have a lot of responsibility. We are members of the council, kind of that establish the law of the land, and we are. She's our kind of elected representative, and I kind of just facilitate everything that she. Like a good husband, I just do what she tells me to do, and we have a beautiful son that we take care of, and gives us purpose, and gives us a reason for living, and a reason for surviving, and a reason for fighting. So it's he's still Tommy, but he's older and he's more mature.
literally yesterday, at the time of recording, we got the season 3 renewal news.
Yeah.
What was your kind of reaction to hearing that? Do you get kind of much of a heads up on these things before they kind of go public?
I did. Craig Mazin made a group chat with everybody and sort of secretly told us a few days before that season 3 had been renewed, which is really exciting, and it's just so cool to get to go back and do it again, and that people are responding to the show so that we get to keep making more of it.
Nice. And obviously the second game is such kind of a big emotional roller coaster, so it's kind of no surprise, I think, that it takes multiple seasons to get through it.
Yeah.
Would you have any words of comfort to fans who maybe know some of the twists and turns that might be coming to kind of to help them steel themselves to kind of relive it all again?
I'd say there's no comfort. There's nothing you're just gonna have to strap in for the ride.
Amazing. I think that is all any of us can do, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Amazing. And I was also wondering about kind of the relationship with Abby. Obviously, in episode 1, we've kind of seen that they're kind of almost on like a collision course kind of thing. And obviously, Kaitlyn Dena was one of those actors that was kind of linked to Ellie in kind of past adaptations as well. What was it like kind of getting to know her, and did you kind of talk about the Ellie, your different kind of takes on the character and things like that?
You know, we never spoke about the Ellie thing, but I was so excited when she was cast. I just thought that was such a genius casting move, and she's so good as Abby, and getting to watch her stuff in the first episode and the episodes to come, because obviously there's some scenes of hers that I'm not in, so getting to see her do that, I didn't see that on the day obviously, so getting to watch that just as a viewer is she's so captivating, and that was really cool. But yeah, them being on a collision course is a really good way of describing that sort of dynamic.
Nice. And were you a big player of the games? Do you kind of remember your first reaction to kind of seeing the kind of beats of this story?
I'm a watcher of someone else playing the games, because I'm not very adept at gaming. And yes, I do. I remember just being so invested and engrossed. I can see why the games are so popular and why people feel so protective over them, and coming into the series, and the fears around is it going to be as good as the game, because the game is so brilliant. What incredible source material. The twists and turns are that's definitely definitely engaging, and it's going to be fun for people to see that come to life on screen.
Well, I think from the first game, the whole experience of playing The Last of Us is, first of all, it encompasses a lot of the elements of games that I really like. I like the stealth aspect of games. I like strategizing. There's so many various different ways to skin a cat, and it's just I personally take the approach of kind of quieter, and I'm a little ninja out there, little Ellie ninja, and it's just. But I'm also a completist, so it takes me a while. It took me 2.5 months to get through the games. And
you were exploring every facet that he's opening all the.
And I was just are those fireflies? I mean, not the fireflies, us fireflies, but actual fireflies in the game. You just kind of look and get in the grass and see all these little details. And so that's the kind of gamer I am. I think we're probably the gamers, probably video game players more than probably most of the cast.
But I'm used to, I play FPS games and MOBAs, but that game was so realistic. I found myself running out of bullets at the beginning of each game, and each level, and I'm fighting with a brick and my bare hands, most of the game, just out of ammo, out of resources, scrounging around. I mean, that was a tough game for me.
Incredible detail, little conversations that the opponents, will be having, and
the mechanics,
all this stuff,
the guitar that you can play in the game.
I played some of my own songs on the guitar.
That's so cool. I feel
touchpad.
Yeah. I mean, as someone who I can see plays guitar in real life, it's one of the better visualizations of a guitar in a game, I think, right?
I mean, it's the only one what is the other I guess the Ocarina and Ocarina of Time kind of thing.
But that's the first time I've encountered a guitar with that much specificity in a game.
Yeah.
Where you can play real chords, make real songs.
Go on.
Listen to this.
Oh, what this?
That's all,
beautiful.
that's all you get.
So nice.
Now you gotta start paying after those first few.
Yeah, that's the free
Of course.
trial. Amazing. And speaking of the games, how important is it for you guys to go and like, kind of, to what extent do you absorb the performances from the actors in the games, or to what extent are you trying to do something different to what you've seen in the games? Like, tell me about that kind of.
Yeah. No, I think for me, when I first started it, I started playing the game before I had my meeting with Craig, and then quickly forgot that I was researching and just got involved in it. And then, but what I noticed right off the bat, I was like, wow, so Tommy and I are like the same guy almost in so many different ways. And the way he was portrayed by Jeffrey, I just felt a very strong familiarity with that type of person. I'm from Austin, Texas, and the character's from Austin. And so I was just, there was a lot of, I was like, okay, so not that I knew everything and had it completely sculpted, but I just knew, okay, I can just go and just be, and which is how you want to do it anyway. You want to prepare as much as you can, take all the cues and take all the inspiration, but then arrive and look at your scene partner in the eye, and then figure it out. And so, yeah, I think it was a little bit of both, but the show itself, the words just equip us with everything we need.
Yeah. I saw there was an essence from the game and from Stephen Chang, who voiced the original character, but really serves as a loose outline to then fill it in with our own truth and our own colors once we get to set.
Nice. Obviously, we started this conversation talking about kind of how the cast has grown this season. How important is it to you, and how meaningful is it to you that it is a very diverse cast, kind of, especially compared to kind of what it could have been? And how nice is that for you guys?
That's really incredible, and that's already established in the game, and that's why people are drawn to it. I think so many walks of life that are all equalized by this outbreak, right? This situation they're living in, and that's because everyone is represented. And then somehow we took it further in the show, and that was just a tribute to Vicky Thomas in the first season, our cast director, and Mary in this one, and then and Craig and Neil's openness to casting people from the inside, and that's so thankful, because I'm thankful they cast Pedro, because I look like him. We could play brothers, and that's kind of how that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just the courage to just kind of see outside the frame.
Yeah, casting by soul and not by our physical representations.
Yeah.
Nice. I was just chatting to Bella about how the relationship between Ellie and Joel is kind of quite icy in this first episode,
Right.
but kind of the upside of that is that we get to see what Ellie's relationships are like with other characters. I mean, question for both of you to jump in on maybe, what was it like working with Bella, kind of having those scenes kind of away from the Pedro relationship, and kind of to make your own kind of connections there?
Yeah, I'll start, and I'll try to keep it brief so you can chime in. But it's just, I mean, how can you keep it brief when you're working with Bella Ramsey? I mean, I looked forward to it. I knew what was coming because I played the games, and I knew how important Tommy is as this sounding board for Ellie, and this person that can give her the same guidance, but without the same restraints that a protective father would. The cool uncle that lets you take a sip of the beer when Dad's not looking, and I couldn't wait to work more with Bella, because I'm such an admirer of their work, and we have a really cool relationship that we now get to put on screen, and yeah, it's fun. You see it right from the jump. My first scene in this season is with Bella, and it's a really one I'm really proud of. It's really fun.
Yeah. I watched Bella in the first season before we met personally, and so I had this version of Bella Ramsey that was only seen through watching the show, and then I meet Bella in person and realize they are completely different from this prickly Ellie. And Bella Ramsey is full of light and warmth and nuance, and so I was so impressed, and to be so young, being number one on the call sheet, showing up the most days out of everyone, and maintaining character and being so cool. Yeah, I mean, what a force of nature. And getting to watch the scenes and being involved in the scenes, they are a tremendous talent.
Nice. And between Jesse and Ellie and Dena, there's that kind of interesting triangle. What was that like? I guess that's kind of like, there's something juicy there to kind of...
Fleetwood Mac situation.
Right.
What was that Fleetwood Mac situation like for you to jump into?
Well, I think there's a certain chemistry there that it just was, and I see it as Jesse and Ellie being kind of on the baseline of both being a bit loners, a bit outsiders looking in, and then you have this ray of sunshine that is Dena, and we both gravitate towards Dena in a certain way, and we share that commonality. And then I feel, Jesse feels for Ellie in a lot of ways. So there's this. It's an interesting triangle. It's not your traditional love triangle, but there is love there.
Yeah, it's just you two kind of angling towards the light, you know.
Yeah, there's like a bit of the triangle missing at the bottom. Kind of thing.
Yeah.